Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Alexi and this is Soto-Tek. In this video, I'm going to talk about 10 reasons why you might consider buying a Samsung Galaxy phone over an iPhone. What things Galaxy phones offer that will give you a better user experience. Yes, it is 2020 and you still see fans on both sides still arguing in favor of one or the other, despite the fact that the gap is getting narrower and narrower in terms of differences. But there are still some distinctions to make. Now, bear in mind, most of the things I'm going to mention about the Samsung Galaxy phones are not just limited to Samsung phones. You can also find them in many Android phones. But it was Samsung that pioneered some of these features first, and then they were brought by Google as part of the Android ecosystem. In a second video, I will talk about the things or features you can find in iPhones that are better implemented and the reason why you might prefer an iPhone over a Samsung Galaxy phone. So stay tuned for that one. 1. Widgets. Let's get this one out of the way quickly. Apple just announced that widgets are finally coming to iPhones on iOS 14 update, which is something positive. The problem is that the official public release for the iOS 14 is in September, possibly October. As of now, the last official iOS update is 13.5.1, so no widgets, sorry. Also, based on what I've seen in different videos, it's not Android Samsung level yet. What I like about widgets is the possibility of having shortcuts on the home screen that makes your interaction with your phone better. For instance, I've got my music app widget here. I can move it around anywhere I want to. I can even control and change the tracks on the home screen. No need to open the music app to do so. I also have my time and weather widgets. I can also move around as I please. Another widget I like is the one for the device care. I can see the storage and the RAM used, and I can optimize the phone without having to go to settings, then device care, then optimize things from there. I also have my calendar widget on this page for a quicker access to it, something that you can't do with iPhones for now. Next, multi-window split screen. I love this feature and I use it practically every day. Let's say I'm watching a YouTube video, but I need to quickly reply to a message. I don't need to stop the video, close the app, and then open the message app. I just split the screen and reply quickly without having to stop the video. I find this very handy. Another example, let's say I'm shopping and I have selected several products with different prices and I want to calculate the total to have an idea of how much I'm going to spend. I can do it splitting the screen, no need to close and open both apps back and forth. I'm always calculating, so being able to use the calculator with a split screen is very useful. Next, always on display. This allows you to see the time and notifications with your phone locked. I don't use it all the time, but it is very handy when you go away on holidays and you don't have a clock in your room you can check in the middle of the night, for example. Next, one-handed mode. This is another feature I use a lot. Sadly, on iPhones it's very limited. It is actually called Reachability mode, and all you can do is to pull the top apps down, but still you have a hard time to reach the apps on this column unless you have massive giant hands. Mine are not small, and still it is difficult. Also, even with this reachability mode, all you can do is to select the apps difficult to reach with one hand. Once you do it, you end up with a full screen anyway. Not great. On the contrary, here on Samsung phones, all you have to do is to swipe down. You can even resize it. as you please. Select any app and still you can interact with the phone using one hand. This is a proper one-handed mode. Next, keyboard. Yes, I prefer Samsung's keyboard and layout with numbers on top of the letters, which makes your typing experience a little bit more fluent because I don't have to go back and forth from letter to numbers all the time if you are typing a message that requires letters and numbers. You can even get some symbols under the letters. Just press on any of the keys a little bit longer and you get the symbol. You can also resize the keyboard if you want to. The keyboard on the iPhone is very small with no numbers on top, so you have to keep going back and forth when you type messages with numbers and letters. However, there is something about the iPhone keyboard I prefer over Samsung's keyboard, and I'll talk about that in the video about iPhone advantages. Once again, stay tuned for that one. Next, the ability to open the camera app just by double-clicking on the power button when the phone is locked, which is very handy on certain occasions. Or when your phone is unlocked, you can use Samsung's Good Lock app and place the camera icon at the bottom to quickly open the camera. Both options are very good shortcuts in case you quickly need to open the camera to take a quick picture or record a video. Even if you are on any other app like browsing, let's say browsing the web, something that you don't really have on any iPhone, unfortunately. Talking about the cameras, let's talk about the user interface on both. In the case of the Samsung Galaxy phones, you've got all the camera settings in the camera app. Just go to settings and everything you need to change is here. In the case of the iPhone, if you want to change the picture or video resolution, for example, you have to close the camera app, then go to General Settings, scroll down, find where it says Camera, and here is where you can change the picture and video resolution, as you can see. Once you do that, then close General Settings and go back and open the camera app. However, funny enough, there is one instance where this iPhone inconvenience could be a convenience, and I will also talk about it in the video about the things iPhone do better. You can also use your voice to take pictures and record videos. Go where it says Shooting Methods, click on here. Then you have voice control and different keywords you have to say to activate voice control, like cheese, capture, smile. Let's go back and try a couple of these commands. Smile, cheese. Let's record a video. Record video. As you can see, it has started to record a video. This is not new, it's been around on Samsung's phones for a while, and it can also be useful on certain occasions. Next, calculator. No comparison. Samsung's calculator is so much better. You can see everything while you are doing your math calculation. Each of the number you are using in your calculation and also the result at the bottom as you work on it, which I find very, very useful. You also have the unit converter. You don't need to use Google and you don't even need Wi-Fi or mobile data for it. You have different units to make any conversion. Very handy. With iPhones, it's just these giant buttons for no reason, taking up a lot of space unnecessarily. If you are doing a long calculation, you can only see one number at a time. And if you forget one number in between your calculation, you feel like killing yourself and you have to start from the beginning again. Next is the ability to reply to messages or emails from the notification panel without having to go to the app itself. You can reply, mark as read or called, something you can do with basically any app. And in the case of emails, you can also get the option to delete them from here, which I find extremely handy. With iPhones, you can do it, but you have to reply quickly as soon as you get the notification. The same, you swipe down and you get options to reply, but if you get 2 or 3 notifications at the same time, forget it. That's not the case on Samsung phones and Android in general. Next, the headphone jack, if you still value it like me. Yes, Samsung sadly also started to remove the headphone jack in some of its phones in the A series and on its flagship phones starting with the Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus from last year. But fortunately, we still have other good models like this Galaxy Note 9, which I still consider to be Samsung's last most complete phone. However, we all know you can't find the headphone jack in any of the iPhone models since the iPhone 7. Now, I'm going to be cheeky and talk about another feature that you won't find in most Samsung phones either, only in one of its series, and that is the S Pen on the Galaxy Note series. Precious, so precious. And with this, you have another one up against iPhones if you prefer a Galaxy Note phone. I won't talk about the features of the S Pen. Check my full review of the Galaxy Note 10 Lite. There I mentioned 5, but there are more things you can do with the S Pen. This is a productivity tool you won't find in any iPhone for now. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and that you find it informative. I will soon release a video talking about things iPhones do better and why you might consider it over Samsung phones. Stay tuned for that one. And if you like this video, give it a thumb up and consider subscribing to the channel. I would really appreciate it. See you in the next one. Hasta la vista.